The Atlanta Hawks were the runners up in the Eastern Conference in this past upcoming season, going doing a sort of a Cinderella run, an underdog run in the Eastern Conference playoffs, defeating the New York Knicks in 5 games in the first round, in a series that most thought would probably be the closest and most competitive matchup in the first round of playoffs, regardless of conference. Trey Young going into Madison Square Garden, making an enemy out of New York City and creating a rivalry that I think will be fun for years to come. In the second round, they went up against the number one seeded Philadelphia 76ers, who, most had poised to go all the way to the finals in light of the Milwaukee Bucks defeating the Brooklyn Nets in the second round. Thinking that the Atlanta Hawks, myself included, I felt like the Atlanta Hawks were going to be easy matchup. Not an easy matchup, but breeze through the second round, maybe give the Atlanta Hawks may pull out one win. But they took the Philadelphia 76ers to 7 games and actually defeated them in the second round to move on to the Eastern Conference and possibly breaking up the duo of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid in the process. Actually, not probably, that he's definitely gone. But moving on. Eastern Conference Finals against the would-be eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks. They took them to 6 games in light of injuries on both sides. Again, a team people felt like would breeze right through the Atlanta Hawks. Guilty again, myself included, but I was proven wrong. The Atlanta Hawks, after Nate McMillan took over from Lloyd Pierce, were a fantastic team. I think they have a very bright future. I think they're on the right trajectory. They did their job in putting the right pieces around their young star Trey Young, and also possibly drafting young stars in the process. They have a great combination of young players with talent, surrounded by very good veterans who have been on multiple teams, who have been around winning cultures. And like I always say in these videos, it's a consistent theme. Culture is a big thing when it comes to winning and building an organization. And the Atlanta Hawks have the formula set. They've already had their playoff run. They've had a winning season. Trey Young has made his case for superstardom. And I think out of all the teams in the East, the Atlanta Hawks have the brightest future, especially considering the prospects and young players they have on their team and what they could turn out to be and how they could fit next to Trey Young. Could get scary for the East in the future, man. Who knows? But that's only what if. Let's talk about what actually did happen in the offseason. Like I said, the Atlanta Hawks are a team constructed of, you have Trey Young, you have plenty of young players around him under contract. While Atlanta hasn't always been an attraction for free agents, I can see free agents going there. But the Atlanta Hawks didn't really take that approach this season. Like I said, they already have talent on the team. There's not really much room to keep adding. I did hear from some people that DeMar DeRozan was rumored to go to the Hawks, but I never really took that serious. I think they have enough. They don't need to go out and spend money on a guy like DeMar DeRozan. Then when one of these young players' contracts come up and they want money, you're hesitant to pay them because you paid all that money to an older guy like DeMar DeRozan, and you end up losing that young prospect. So they did re-sign players like Lou Williams, Solomon Hill, Clint, I'm sorry, not Clint Capella, John Collins, to bring back Lou Williams and Solomon Hill are two of the veterans I was talking about that have been in different teams and been around winning coaches and stuff like that. Solomon Hill was just in the bubble finals with the Miami Heat. Lou Will was on the Clippers team. He was on the Houston Rockets team with James Harden. He's been around winning coaches before. The other veteran is Danilo Gallinari, who also has been around winning coaches before with the Denver Nuggets, just a season ago with the Oklahoma City Thunder, with the Los Angeles Clippers for a bit. So I do think it's good to have guys like that around such a young team. They did go out and sign a few players this offseason. Nothing too hectic, but just some guys, I guess, for bench depth. You never know when injuries occur. Some of these guys, mainly one of these guys, might really get some minutes. But I think they really did well in the draft, drafting Sharif Cooper and Jalen Johnson, two young players who have potential to be key rotational pieces on this team, especially if you end up losing players like, the young players I talked about who would like contracts, but you may not be willing to pay them the amount they want. A few of the players they signed Tony Snell, another veteran who has been on plenty teams. They signed DeLon Wright, very athletic, defensive-minded point guard. Not expecting him to get too many minutes, but he is in the same style or mold of a Chris Dunn, who was previously on this team, and I'm pretty sure DeLon Wright will take over duties of backing up Trae Young at the point guard position. They also went out and signed Bruno Fernando at the center position. But like I said, their offseason moves were really, I think their biggest landing offseason moves were the draft and bringing back key players, like I said, Lou Williams, John Collins. But with all that being said, I talked about what the Atlanta Hawks did in the playoffs last year towards the end of the year, ramping up and making their way into the playoffs. The moves that they made in the offseason, bringing people back, doing well in the draft. So what does that say? What is the projection for the Atlanta Hawks this upcoming season? Who knows? I project them to be a clear playoff team. I think they have the talent to do so. They have the coaching to do so. I feel like this team is on an upper trajectory. I'm not sure what the consensus is or, the majority opinion on this team or where they'll land. The East is getting a little deeper with sneaky teams. I've talked about it before. You've got the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets, the Miami Heat. Who knows how well the Philadelphia Sixers will still be? The Boston Celtics. You got and then you got the Atlanta Hawks. You got the New York Knicks, who after the season they had and the pieces they added, you can't really sleep on going into the season. So I don't really think the Atlanta Hawks are in danger of not being a playoff team this year. Don't see them as a huge threat, but said that last year and they ended up being a threat to the top teams in the East. So who knows how the dice will roll depending on how those seedings map out and who they're matched up against. I love this young core. Like I said, you've got Trae Young on this team, Onyeka Okongwu on this team, Cam Reddish on this team, who I think outside of Trae Young is the best young prospect on this team. Really a Paul George mold type of player, and if he can mold into even just Indiana Pacer Paul George, a fresh young Paul George next to Trae Young, that would be an amazing player next to Trae Young to have. Someone you don't have to go out and get in free agency who's too old. You can build with Trae Young. They have the chemistry together. You have a guy like DeAndre Hunter, who is an amazing, amazing defender at the wing position. You have Bogdan Bogdanovic, who we've seen light it up in the playoffs when needed. Seen guys like Kevin Huerter, who we've seen light it up in the playoffs when needed. Clint Capella isn't as young as these guys, but still under 30, on the right side of 30. Had not a breakout season last year, I don't want to say, but continued to play well last season. Arguably a top 10 center in the league. You have John Collins. I think this team I think in a few years, this team might be a juggernaut. Not a juggernaut like the KD Warriors or anything like that, but I think this team is going to be talked about consistently for years as top 3 in the East if these players pan out how I know or feel like they can. But let me know in the comment section down below. If you're an Atlanta Hawks fan, how do you feel about this young core? How do you feel about the moves they made in the offseason? And what are your projections for the upcoming season? Leave a like on the video, a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And don't forget to check out 30 Days of Hoops playlist hanging right above my head so you can check out any of the videos that you missed from the past 17 days. And I will holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.